For centuries, cougars have been North America's stealthiest predators. They roam vast territories, hunting in silence, striking with precision. But in today's world, their greatest challenge isn't finding prey. It's finding a safe place to exist. Cougars, also called mountain lions, pumas, or panthers, once roamed nearly the entire United States. From the dense forests of the East Coast to the towering Rocky Mountains, they ruled as apex predators. But as human populations expanded, their habitat shrank. By the late 1800s, cougars had been hunted, trapped, and driven out of most of their range east of the Mississippi River. The eastern cougar, once a ruler of Appalachian forests, has already been declared extinct. Today, most cougars are confined to the western half of the country, with isolated populations hanging on in Florida and parts of the Midwest. But something remarkable is happening. Cougars are on the move again. In recent years, these elusive big cats have been spotted in places they haven't lived in for over a century. From the forests of Missouri to the plains of Nebraska, cougars are expanding eastward. Some have even been seen as far as Tennessee, and a few lone wanderers have made it all the way to Connecticut. One cougar traveled 1,500 miles from South Dakota to New York, only to be struck and killed by a car. That's a glimpse into the greatest challenge cougars face: fragmentation. Modern America is a dangerous place for wide-ranging predators. Highways slice through former wilderness, creating deadly obstacles. Major roads don't just slow their movement, they often end their journey entirely. Collisions with vehicles are a leading cause of cougar deaths in expanding populations. One study found that in Florida alone, at least 20 Florida panthers are killed by cars each year. And in many states, a single mistaken sighting can lead to fear-driven retaliation, often with tragic results for the animal. So, should the US take action to help these apex predators return? Some conservationists argue that building safe corridors, protected pathways that connect cougar habitats, could be the key to their survival. These corridors could help cougars expand eastward without constantly running into human barriers. They could allow populations to mix, preventing inbreeding and genetic decline. And they could reduce conflicts with humans by keeping cougars in natural landscapes, away from towns and farms. But would this really work? To understand why corridors are being considered, we need to look at what's happening to cougars right now. In some areas, populations are thriving, but they're trapped in isolated pockets. For example, in California, mountain lions are hemmed in by urban sprawl and freeways. Some are confined to tiny territories, leading to increased competition, stress, and even fights to the death. And one of the biggest dangers? Inbreeding. In places like the Santa Monica Mountains, cougars are so cut off from other populations that genetic diversity is plummeting. Scientists have discovered that some mountain lions there have abnormally kinked tails, a clear sign of inbreeding. This is exactly what happened to Florida's panther population in the 1990s. With fewer than 30 individuals left in the wild, Florida panthers were suffering from genetic deformities, heart problems, and declining reproductive success. Biologists introduced a small number of Texas cougars to refresh the gene pool. It worked. Today, Florida panther numbers have risen to about 200 individuals. But without safe corridors, they remain trapped in South Florida, with no room for further expansion. Could safe corridors have prevented the Florida panther crisis? Could they prevent a similar fate for cougars in the western US? One of the most ambitious corridor projects, the Wallace-Annenberg Wildlife Crossing, currently under construction in California. This massive overpass, covered in vegetation, will stretch across a 10-lane freeway, reconnecting fragmented mountain lion habitats. If successful, it could serve as a model for future wildlife corridors across the US. But skeptics argue that not all states are ready for cougars to return. Some fear that allowing them to expand will lead to more conflicts with people. Cougars are solitary, stealthy, and rarely attack humans, but their presence can still cause panic. Ranchers worry about livestock losses, fearing cougars will prey on cattle and sheep. Some farmers argue that predator-proof fencing and livestock guarding dogs would be more effective than corridors. Hikers and residents fear unexpected encounters, even though attacks on humans are extremely rare. And hunters worry that expanding cougar populations could compete with them for game animals like deer and elk. But does a healthy cougar population actually help balance ecosystems? Studies show that cougars play a vital role in controlling deer populations. Without large predators, deer overpopulate, leading to overgrazing and habitat destruction. In areas where cougars have returned, deer populations stabilize, which in turn benefits plant life, small mammals, and even birds. In states like South Dakota, cougars are already being seen in new areas. But instead of being welcomed, many are being hunted the moment they cross into unfamiliar territory. Is this fair when they're simply following instincts that have guided them for millennia? Some states, like Florida, have already tested the corridor concept. The Florida Wildlife Corridor was designed to help endangered Florida panthers move safely between habitats. And the results? Panther numbers have slowly started to recover. But challenges remain. Poaching, habitat loss, and vehicle collisions still threaten their survival. Could a nationwide network of corridors help cougars in the same way? Would highways, railroads, and urban sprawl make it impossible to truly connect their habitats? And if we do create safe corridors, would people be willing to coexist with more cougars in their backyards? One thing is certain: cougars are expanding, whether we help them or not. The real question is, will we create a path for them to thrive, or will we force them into a constant battle for survival? As America's last remaining big cat outside of zoos, their future depends on the choices we make today. If we act now, we could restore a vital predator to ecosystems where they once belonged. If we ignore the problem, we might see more cougar populations decline, vanish, or face violent resistance. The debate is far from over. But one thing is clear: cougars aren't waiting for us to decide. They're already on the move. And the future of America's wildlands may depend on whether we make space for them to return.